folding under pressure at one point, acknowledging that he is fundamentally responsible for what has happened in Afghanistan, but also placing blame on the Trump administration's deal with the Taliban, saying effectively his hands were tied. Joining us now, U.S. Representative John Garamendi of California, serves on the House Armed Services Committee, as well as Republican Darrell Issa, also from California, who's working to try and get some of his constituents out of Afghanistan. We'll start with Congressman Garamendi first. Good to see you, as always, sir. Was this an act of war?
This has been a 20-year war, and this is the final stages of a 20-year war that the United States has conducted in Afghanistan, ultimately with success and a lack of success along the way. And today is a tragic day in the annals of that 20 years as we leave that country, appropriately leave that country, and then in the process of evacuating in what is clearly one of the greatest humanitarian evacuations ever attempted, with great success and also with great failure. Wow. Yeah. And so here we are, 105,000 people.
I know you watched the president's speech today, remarks, and then the answers to his questions. I'm interested in how he sort of says that, well, the reason that this all happened is because of the Trump administration's deal. You and I have both talked a number of times about all of the different things that President Biden changed from Trump administration policies. Is he saying, I couldn't change this one?
Well, I think this both couldn't and wouldn't change this one. He did actually change it. He changed it from Trump would set a deal with the Taliban, signed an agreement with them, that all American forces, including all contractors and all support, would be out of Afghanistan by the 1st of May of 2021. Biden had 3 months, a little over 3 months to deal with that after coming into office in late January. And he did change it. He changed it until early September, ultimately the August 31 deadline that we now have. So he stretched it out to give time for the military to leave in good order, which they did. They were had basically left. What was not anticipated was the total collapse of the Afghan government. Ghani fled. Abdullah, we still don't know exactly where he is, right, but they fled and there was a total collapse. That led to the Taliban taking control immediately. And now in 10 days,
we know how it's happened.
Following that, here we are.
Yeah, we've watched it disintegrate and the policy disintegrate. You don't think the president shares some of the blame for withdrawing the military before making sure all the civilians were out?
Well, he certainly has taken that responsibility. Is it totally his?
Well,
no, it's
actually,
not.
I'm not sure he has, sir, because he didn't say. He said I take responsibility, but when asked would he do anything differently, he says no.
Well, taking responsibility for where things are today is what he has done. He has said so. Is it a good result? Well, certainly not for 13 members of the U.S. military. And they were tragically murdered by suicide bombers. Now, was there another way to do it? Not if you were going to withdraw your troops. Now, did he have any choice about withdrawing the troops? Probably very, very limited. He did make a choice to extend the deadline and to give more time for the Kabul government, for the Afghan government to put necessary things in place. They did not.
That's true.
Was he responsible for the failure of the Afghan government? No more so than the previous 3 presidents.
Yeah. We've been trying for a long time to get an Afghan government that seems to work, and that hasn't happened. Congressman, always good to see you. We appreciate it. Have a great weekend.
Anytime, Leland. Thank you.
All right. The State Department now